Good morning. Good morning. We've got 6 left to enter, so we'll take just a minute, wait for them. While you're waiting, and while we wait for them to see if they'd log in, go ahead and open your Canvas page. That'll save you some time. Okay, we'll give them 2 more minutes. If the rest, the 6 that are missing, don't sign in, then we'll start without them and they can catch up. All right, I'm not sure that they're coming in, so we'll go ahead and get started. How you guys doing? All right?
Good.
There you go.
Good, right? Yeah.
Yeah, good. It's Thursday already, right? Okay, so a couple of things. I'm going to cover probably 4 things today. As I said earlier, we will start with the curriculum today. One of the developments since we met last time is the district purchased a digital textbook and a digital notebook for you. So I'm going to give you access to that. Basically, any of the notes, anything that we'll have, I'll put on Canvas, go formative, what have you, but it'll be another resource if you want a textbook that sort of covers the same material in a different way, or you just want to be able to refer back to it as a review, you can, and the district did that, so we'll provide that for you today. We'll check and make sure that you're able to get into Edmentum and able to access that okay. There was a problem at the district level Friday night, early Saturday with the server, basically. So there may have been some people, there were 5 or 6 that reach out to me about your assignment, the downloading of the PDF of the Plato orientation instructions. So I extended that due date until tomorrow. So if there were some of you that had missed that opportunity or had problems because of the technical issues at the district, we extended that. So I'll try to be flexible and understanding, right, as things get settled in, there's going to be some things that are done at the district level that screw up what we do here. So if you ever run into a problem and it seems to be a technical issue, you need to let me know right away. Also, if you looked in Canvas and you looked in areas, you'll see that the grades were updated last Friday on the 21st. I'll update the grades again tomorrow afternoon and keep you up to date there on what you have. So a couple of things, and we'll go ahead and get started. Let me share with you what I see here. Okay. So just real quick, in terms of a simple overview, I will review with you real quick Edmentum. As you can see here, that assignment that was previously due on Monday, I extended that until tomorrow. So you should be able to see your blue button there and have that available for you. One of the things now that we're into the second week, I also wanted you to focus on is there's 2 ways to get to most items here. Modules is on the left-hand side, but I also have that quick access icon down at the bottom. And when you click on modules, as you scroll down, you'll notice that it's in chronological order. So one of the things that you'll notice is that everything that we needed to do and everything that you did do for week 1 that was required is all in a module. And then I kept that format the same so that you understand what's going on. So week 2, you can see that everything that we'll do for this week is also in a module. And then when you're in a module, I really didn't talk about this the first week because there really wasn't one there. But when you're in a module, you'll have an overview that I'll give at the very beginning, sort of outline what we're going to need to do, what you'll need to be able to understand and explain by the end of that week or that lesson. And then down at the bottom, if you click next, it'll take you to the next thing that you need to do. So you don't need to sit there and worry about, oh, where do I find that? What's next? What have you? It's going to go right in line. And then when you get to the end, right, it's going to tell you that's the end of the module. There's not going to be any next. So this TCI join and sign up instructions are for the digital textbook and digital notebook that the district got access for each one of you. And that'll be separate and it'll keep under your identification number. So just as with Edmentum, we'll go through that entire process and then go step by step and have you do that. Notice that when you are done there, you can click next. And we'll talk about, as I said, some curricular items today. So we'll talk about what is history. And then we're also going to talk about what are the 5 themes of history. So we're going to go over cultural interaction, social structures, political structures, economic structures, human environment interaction in events that we'll be studying. And then you can see here, you'll have one assignment. When you get to the end of the module, there's not a next, right? And so you're just done. So that's sort of an overview there of what we have. Now, additionally, just to go back and review, especially because the assignment is open for those of you that may have run into some difficulties. When you go to your learning modules or you go to assignments, what we had you do in week 1 was this assignment about uploading Plato orientation PDF. And so Plato or Edmentum, same thing. There's an icon here. There's also an icon from your homepage. Okay. And then when you click on the black E, it may ask you to log in if you're not logged in already. Your page is going to look more like this. Going to click on period 6, start new activity or all activities. Once you click there, we clicked on Plato orientation. And this is where you were to upload a screenshot of what you did or upload the PDF after you downloaded it. So remember this orientation, right? What is a course? What do I do in a course? This here is what's a typical lesson, what I'll do in a lesson. And then this one here is how can I stay on pace, be successful with my assignments, check and see what I'm doing. And then what I had you do is from the save icon or the download icon, click on that button. You save that into a consistent folder. You can create a folder on your desktop if you want, World History Downloads. You can keep it in your downloads folder. Then once that's downloaded, right, from here, you click on the assignment, click on your blue submit button. Remember to upload the assignment, hit submit again, and you're going to be done. Anybody have any questions in terms of that? Anybody have any issues with that? Okay. So as I said, if you look in your notifications or you look into a couple of different specific areas, that is now open until 3:15 on the 28th. And so if you ran into problems, you are able to upload that and get credit for that because of the issues that were there. All right. So in your Canvas, go ahead and click on the second module. So I want you to click on the second module. So from your learning modules here, go down to module 2 and click right here at the beginning. So you're going to go to module 2 and click right here at the beginning. Okay. A couple of things in terms of attendance. If I missed you when you came in, just say that you're here. Is Hope here? Miranda here? Angel here? Tucker here? Colin, you're here, right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. What I thought. You were just one off the screen, apparently. Either that or I'm losing my mind, but either way, I thought I saw you come in. Michael L. is not here, though, correct? Michael? Perfect. Okay. Sorry about that. I just wanted to double check before. So from your second module, as I said, next week I'll have a module 3. That'll be week 3. That'll be an overview of everything we do, everything that you'll need to know, be able to explain and have completed will be in there. Generally, we'll try to do one thing together in class, and then you'll have one assignment outside of class that you'll need to have completed before the next week. So you can see here, this week we'll register for your online textbook notebook and discuss what history is and why we should study it. So in order to successfully complete Module 2, please do the following. The TCI sign up and login, I'm going to join instructions I will go through with you. Understand what is history and why we should study it. And then there'll be one TCI assignment within your notebook to complete. As I said, as you progress through the module, if you click down here at the next button, you can always go back and forth. When there is no next button here, then you are at the end of the module. If you wanted to go back, obviously you could hit previous, but when you don't see a next anymore, that means you're at the end of the module, you've completed it, you'll just want to submit your assignment. So, as I said, I'm going to run through this real quick. This is going to be the sign up and join instructions for your online digital textbook as well as your online digital notebook. You'll follow these steps just like we did with Admentum, and then we'll come back and we'll go step by step. You are going to need to join the proper class. You are going to need my school email address. So I'm going to send that to you right now in the chat room. You can just copy and paste that there, but you'll need that. So it's jgrock@smjuhsd.org. And basically, if you click on this link right here, it's going to take you to your digital notebook. And when you click on that link, you're going to get a box that looks like this. You're then going to fill in my teacher email, which I put in the chat. You're going to fill in your last name, your first name, and obviously it says my name because I did it for me. You're then going to use your full school email address as your username. You're going to get a box that probably looks like this, and you're going to choose World History Period 6, all right? World History 6, and join that. So if you click this button, this is what you're going to come up with. Take the email address that I sent to you in the chat room, put your real first name, real last name. So last name goes here, first name goes underneath. Put your full school email as your username. You can use the same password you can, and then click create. So when you click create, you're going to be able to join that. Okay. So take a minute and click on that link. Okay, Jasmine, I need to change your username. So it should be @students-smjuhsd.org. I'll send that to you in the chat room. So I didn't change your password, Jazz, but this will update your username. We've got 11 signed up. There's 3 more to go. One more to go. So Jasmine, you're in there, right? Hector, you're right in there, right? Gilberto, you're in there, right? Dario's in there, right? Eva's in there, right? Colin, Jacob, Maritza, Ronnie, Adrian, Daniel, Lucas. I'm going to switch. You switched your first name, last name, but I can fix that. You're in there, right? And then Natalie. It won't affect your login. Mackenzie, you able to get in okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so Alexa Gomez still here? All right. Well, that's why we're short one. She dropped out. Okay, so real quick, I'm going to show you here what you'll have, and we'll come back to this, and then we'll get started. One of the things that you'll be able to use this for is basically just a digital notebook. So let me sign in. When you sign in again, you're going to use my teacher email address. You're going to use your username and then put in your password. And so when you do that, you can click on any of these units. So first thing we'll do is talk about what is history, why do we study it? You can see that you can click here anywhere on a particular unit, select, say, text. And when you do that, it'll be just like it is a textbook. You can highlight certain areas, right? If you want to come back to that. So if you wanted to highlight a certain area, you could come back to that, use that, and mark that up. This is specific to you. So we'll go over these as we need to, but basically that's what all of this will be, right? That's what all of this will be. Any questions on that? Okay, so we are done with this part of the module. You can go ahead and click next in your Canvas. I'll give you about 20 seconds to do that. Okay. So next part, we're going to talk about what is history, why do we study it? We'll do a little activity together here, right? But history is simply just a retelling or a recounting of certain events that have happened that we've been able to record. When you look at this first slide right here, when you look at this first slide, and let me put it up on your screen. Does anybody know what that stone is called? What's the famous language program that you guys see commercials for, radio and television? They tell you can learn a language in 30 days? Anybody? Okay. So this here is, right, a stone in a museum, right? So suppose you're a historian, you found this stone etched with a statement. What questions would you ask about the stone? How would you use it to interpret the past? Right? Sort of what is the stone for? What's it used for? That stone right there is known as the Rosetta Stone. The Rosetta Stone had Egyptian hieroglyphics, Greek language, and a Demotic language. What it did was, for the first time, able historians to interpret a number of different writings. Without that, they wouldn't have had what's known as, or referred to sometimes as, the primer to break down different languages and codes in terms of history. And so without that, it wouldn't have been very useful. So something as simple as a stone, right, can help with that. So what I'm going to do, there are, looks like 14 of you. So I'll probably create 4 or 5 rooms, 2 to 3 people. And we're going to have you talk a little bit about your personal history, right? Things that have happened in the past for you. So the first question that you're all going to discuss with each other is, how would you describe your hometown? So I'll start. My hometown was located halfway between Phoenix and Tucson. I grew up there. It was probably 20 to 25,000 people, really one main road in the town, 1 high school, 1 junior high, and about 6 elementary schools. So it was probably a really small town compared to what you may be used to. So I'm going to create some rooms. Make sure that you join this room. We're going to give you about 2.5 minutes and talk a little bit about your hometown. Make sure that select join. You need to make sure that you join the breakout room you're assigned to. And talk a little bit about your hometown. Got about a minute left. What were the 2 questions? It was like, what is history and why is it important? Something like that.
it's under if you go if you go to the draw your history, and then are you on this right now? And then if you go to the bottom of the page, he has a PDF. Yeah, I think that's it. I think history is just anything of importance in the past.
Okay, so I think that's everybody back. All right. So prompt number 2, question 2. As a baby, I was. So this is really surprising, especially if you had some of you had older brothers, older sisters that may have had me. Before my hair started turning gray, it was dark. But as a child, as a baby and as a child, probably all the way to 5th or 6th grade, I was like a bleach blonde kid. Bleach blonde kid. All right, so 2 to 3 minutes on as a baby, you were what? As a baby, you were what? So make sure you hit join again. Okay, you can go ahead and finish up. Okay, prompt number 3. One thing someone in my family did I'll never forget is I had an uncle spend 10 years in the prison out in Lompoc. Credit card fraud, I think. Wasn't like a violent crime. But anyway, so I've had an uncle spend 10 years in prison out in Lompoc, and it was before I even knew what Lompoc prison was. All right, you got about a minute left. Waiting on the last group to finish up. They're finished. Perfect. Okay, so next one, halfway through here. I remember when I first learned how to, so I learned how to drive on a 1969 Jeep. It was a 3-speed manual transmission. It was my grandfather's Jeep. Now my oldest son has fixed it up. But I remember that. I remember the first time that I learned how to swim. So you're going to share with each other the first time that you remembered to do something. Right? So the first time I remembered when I did something for the first time.
Coach, we can hear you, but you're lagging a little.
Right? About 1 minute left. One breakout room to finish up. Okay. Bring that back in. I think we've got everybody. So next prompt, on my very first day of school, what do you remember? So very first day of school, what do you remember? I'm so old now, I can remember back to the first day of second grade. But before that, I can't remember much. I remember breaking my wrist when I was like maybe kindergarten or first grade. But first day of school that I can remember back to would probably be second grade, would be as far back as I could remember with that. So what do you remember on my very first day of school? Or you could even talk about what you remember from the first day of school this year if you want. Okay, about a minute left. Okay. So next question. One teacher I'll never forget is blank, and because this for one reason. So I had a teacher as a freshman and sophomore in high school. Our high school had like a main campus and then a vocational campus about half mile down the road, maybe quarter mile down the road, quarter to a half mile down the road. So if you took a class in that building, you got like a 10-minute extra break just because of the walk. And so I had one teacher who taught drafting, and he would hit us with a yardstick if we were messing around or got out of line. All right, about 1 minute left. Okay, I think everybody's back. Okay, so this one here, next to last question, most interesting person I've ever met. I've played 9 holes of golf with Charles Barkley, former NBA player, when I lived in Arizona. And then I have met 2 governors, both of Arizona. So one was Evan Meekum, and the other one was J. Fife Simonton. So that's my claim to fame. So Charles Barkley, 9 holes of golf with me, my buddy, and one of his friends at a course called the Raven South Mountain. And then I have met 2 governors. About a minute left. All right. Last question. Last question. Most enjoyable moment. Okay. Most enjoyable moment or event in your life so far, and probably for me, probably the birth of my children. Most enjoyable. Nothing else like that.
Matthew?
Matthew, yeah. Matus.
The Americans or the colonists be correct, right? Because if you look, the British are the only ones that have weapons, so they want them to think that they're the bad guys, and all the Americans, they don't have guns and they're all wounded, and they look like victims, where the British look like attackers and very violent people.
Okay, so I think we've got everybody back, right? So when you talk about history, what is history? Why should we study it, right? We can learn different things, even about ourselves. Go ahead and take 2 minutes. Make sure that you stretch. Go get a drink. You can go use the restroom, whatever you need, get a snack, but I'll meet you back here in 2 minutes. So it's 11:05. We'll see you at 11:07. On Zoom? Yes. But this time I'm taking them like all 80 minutes, so I told them to take a 2-minute break.
Well, you didn't call him Herbo. I'm disappointed in you.
Well, I forgot. What else? G.
I just reminded that it's
How would you,
Herbo.
yeah, how would you remember the actor's name but not forget to call him that?
Herbo.
Herbo!
Matt!
Herbo!
What's up, Matt?
What's up, Herbo?
Love you, man.
I'm in class.
Yeah.
Did you use your instrument for band? All right, we're back at ready to go. Hopefully that helps. Stretch a little bit long. We'll try to keep it a little bit shorter, but we're going to make sure that we went over everything. So when we take a look at, let me share my screen again with you. All right. So last thing that I want to cover with you real quick are the 5 themes of history. All right, 5 themes of history. And take a look at what they mean. So I'm going to show you a short video clip. It's going to introduce social structures, economic structures, political structures, cultural interaction, human environment interaction, and talk about what those 5 themes mean for what we're doing. So I'm going to share that with you here. Let me bring that up.
Historians often use themes to
Forgot to share my screen with you. Okay, so turn up your volume a little bit and you'll be able to see this.
identify patterns in history. Many possible themes can apply to historical events. History Alive, World Connections, highlights 5 themes in world history: cultural interaction, political structures, economic structures, social structures, and human environment interaction. Studying history with these themes in mind will help you make connections among events and interpret the past. The way cultures interact is a key theme in world history. Throughout history, people of different cultures have exchanged ideas, beliefs, and customs. This spread of cultural influences is known as cultural diffusion. At the same time, people have also rejected outside influences and come into conflict over new ideas. The study of how cultures have interacted and developed over time is crucial to our understanding of the world. Some examples of cultural interaction include the growth and development of religions, other belief systems, and philosophies, the spread of ideas from science and technology, and artistic influences in painting, music, architecture, literature, and other arts. A second key theme is the creation of political systems and forms of government. Political structures are an important aspect of history and a key element in the growth of civilization. The way in which people have organized and governed themselves says a great deal about human society. Some examples of political structures include forms of government, the nature and growth of empires, political revolts and revolutions, regional or global organizations, such as the European Union and the United Nations. Another important theme is economic structures. Economic motives lie at the heart of many human activities, from the quest for food to the pursuit of wealth. Economic factors have played a critical role in history, driving people and societies to innovate, explore, and expand. At the same time, economic interests have also been a source of great conflict. Some examples of economic structures are the birth of agriculture and the expansion of trade, how labor is organized and used, the rise of industry, and the development of economic theories that have had a major impact on people and events around the world. Another key theme is social structures. In prehistoric times, people formed social groups to meet their need for food, shelter, and security. Over time, social groups banded together to form societies. Each society developed its own rules and customs to govern behavior and help it function. By examining and comparing social structures throughout history, we can get a better understanding of human life. Examples of social structures are gender roles and relations, including the place of women in society, customs relating to family and kinship, racial and ethnic differences and their impact on society, and the division of society into social and economic classes. The fifth theme is human-environment interaction. People have to operate within the limits of the natural world, and this has helped shape their actions throughout history. The environment has affected how and where people live and how they support themselves. At the same time, human actions have also changed the environment in many ways. Some examples of human-environment interactions include disease, population growth, migration, and patterns of human settlement. Applying themes to the study of history can help reveal patterns in historical events. History Alive, World Connections, highlights 5 themes. It examines the interaction of cultures around the world. It looks at political, economic, and social structures throughout history, and it considers the nature and impact of human interaction with the environment.
Okay, so a couple of things. Those are the 5 themes that we will be working with. I want to show you 6 pictures, and then I want you to vote via a poll on which the 5 themes you think is most present in this picture. All right, which of the 5 themes you think is most present in this picture? So I'm going to share this with you, put up a poll, and all you have to do is vote and see which one to you is most present. So in picture 1, the Egyptian pharaoh Ramses II ruled from 1279 BC to 1213 BC, holds prisoners from Nubia, Libya, and Syria by the hair. What social, political, economic, human environment interaction do you see most prevalent there? So you can go ahead and vote. So out of the 5, cultural, political, economic, social, and human environment interaction, which do you think is the most prevalent in that picture? Got one more to vote. Okay, so basically, almost 2/3 of you thought either cultural or political. Nobody picked economic, right? And there's not much in economics unless you were talking about maybe the ruler is one economic class, the prisoners would be in another. Social structures, yes, right? Because they are from different social groups, and even human environment interaction is fair, all right? So let's go with the second picture. And I'll launch this poll and show it to you. All right, here we have a medieval painting showing the marriage of the legendary Welsh king Arthur and Guinevere. So if you were to pick the most obvious of the 5 themes of history, which one would it be? All right, I'm going to share the results with you, right? So half of you picked either cultural or political. Social structures were the most common in that. And I would say any one of those 5 are evident there, right? It just depends on what you saw. All right, picture 6. or picture 3, excuse me. So picture 3 here is the Spanish conquistador Cortez receives gifts from ambassadors from the Aztec Emperor of Montezuma before the arrival of Cortez in the city of Tenochtitlan. Right? Which is the most prevalent to you? Awesome. Not everybody voted. And share those results. So we had 31% political, right? And there may be a political difference between the two groups. Cultural would be really the first one that I saw, right? It's two different cultures coming together for the first time. But all of those there, right? There could be an economic structure. So any one of those are good responses.
I know you talked about
Picture 4.
as a platoon, but like no weapons.
Picture 4, here we go, right? Probably one of the most famous beheadings in history. French King Louis XVI, beheaded by the guillotine
Okay.
on the 21st of January 1793 during the French Revolution.
Because I don't think.
Okay, a few months later, his wife is going to
Contact me, so if he does
come to the
reach out,
same fate.
Do you want me to reach out to Ronnie and get information from him? Okay, so you can just text me on Canvas if you have me. All right. All right, thank you. Because I know we just got a date to start football. All right, that's good. Take care. Yeah, we had a, I think, all right, yeah, take care.
Perfect, everybody's voted. Right? Most of you chose political. That's probably what I would go with too, right? Generally, when you have a revolution, it's to overthrow the government, overthrow the person in power. I probably would have chose that as the most prevalent in the picture as well. All right, got 2 more to go. So let's go with picture 5. So picture 5 is from World War I. It is a picture of British and German troops on Christmas Day in 1914. World War I started earlier, a couple months earlier in 1914. But basically they are enjoying a dinner, singing Christmas carols, and then the next day they'll go right back to killing each other. So this would be the best example of what? Okay. Cultural, human environment interaction. Yeah, that's pretty prevalent, right? They're all wearing coats. They're all dressed as if it's really, really cold. That would have been one of the most prevalent things you see right off the bat in that photo. Okay, last one. All right, last one. Let's launch the poll. All right. Here we've got a picture from communist China. Chinese coal miners recite verses from the quotations of Mao in 1968 during the Cultural Revolution. Remember, Mao and the communists took over China and control of China in 1949. I think Mao lives until 1978, 79. So what is most prevalent to you in that picture? All right, there we go. Let me share the results with you. All right, so 46% basically talked about culture, and that's probably what I would have chosen as well. Politically, yes, they're all reciting the same verses. They all have the same books, so they all must have the same relative beliefs. Economic structure is a very good one. They're all working in a mine. They're probably all in the same social class or even economic class. So any of these here are good. You can't really go wrong with any of those. in terms of what we're talking about. All right. Any questions on that? Okay. So what I'm going to share with you now is when you look at, all right, the last thing in this module, you look at the last thing in this module, it is going to be to do the 5 questions in lesson 2 of your notebook, the introduction only. So let me show you what I am talking about. When you take a look at lesson 2, this is all you have to do between now and the next time we meet. We'll be all caught up. There are 5 questions going over the 5 themes of history that we just did. So if you go to your class, in your Canvas, okay, in your module, week 2 module, it's going to tell you right there, you need to do lesson 2 introduction, right? Lesson 2 introduction. So if you go to your programs, this is going to be lesson 2, the themes of history. All right. You can see here, introduction is selected. There are 5 questions down at the bottom regarding these. All right, 5 questions regarding the themes of history. Heavy taxes and jobs led many Southern Italians to immigrate to the United States, Argentina, Brazil, and Venezuela. What's that an example of? Cultural, economic, human environment, political, or social. Immigrants often face discrimination in their new countries because of their race or ethnicity. Which of the 5 do you think that best describes? Many immigrant families work together to build new businesses. After they got established, there should be a space right there. Which of the 5 themes does that follow? U.S. politicians passed many laws in the late 1800s to limit the number of immigrants from certain countries. Which of the 5 themes is that? And then 5, when the Irish potato crop failed in the 40s and 50s, more than 1.5 million people left Ireland for the United States. Which of the 5 would be there for that? Now, when you are done, you're going to click on this turn in or submit button on the right-hand side. When you do that, it will show up and I'll be able to assign a grade. So that is the last thing that you need to do for this week, right? So you can see there's nothing else there. So that would be your assignment between now and the 31st. I think the due date is the 31st on that, which is next Monday at 3:15. If you have any questions, you can hang on. If you're good to go and you can get into your TCI, that's all we have. So we'll see you next week. Don't forget, office hours on Monday for period 6 is 1:40 to 2:20. So if you have any questions over the assignment or anything else, you can join me then. We'll see you then.
So for the Admentum
Yes.
activity, what would the activity be that's due tomorrow?
The Admentum was and I can check and see if you did it already, was the Plato PDF, the Plato orientation PDF. Did you already upload that?
Oh yeah, I already did that. Okay.
Okay, I can double check in case you are worried, but if you already did that, you should be set. So period 6.
Can you check if I did it too? Might as well.
Yep, just a second. Okay, so yeah, Luke, you're good on that. And then G Herbo, that's what Matt told me to call you.
Yeah.
He's laughing, he loves it. G Herbo, let's see what you got here. All right, Beto, yeah, you got them both in too.
All right.
Yep.
I also have another question.
Okay.
On September 5th, I am going to Mexico
Okay.
with to visit family because my grandma. We don't know how much longer we have with my grandma, so I
Okay.
have to go. I'm gonna go for 1 week. I'm gonna have Wi-Fi over there, but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to go to Zoom. I will still do my homework,
Okay.
obviously, and yeah.
Sure.
It's-
Yeah, you should be able to follow the module, and then yeah, if there's not enough Wi-Fi to Zoom, you can always check the YouTube channel and see if you can see the video. You can just watch the video of the class after I post it.
All right. Thank you.
No problem.
Okay, and then I have another question as well. For the lessons on TCI, do we do unit 1 to 2, or do we just do unit, or do we do unit 1, 2, or do we do unit 1, 1 and 2?
No, so all you were doing is in unit 1, you're going to do lesson 2, the introduction.
Okay.
Yep, just the 5 questions over the themes of history.
Okay.
That's
Got
it.
Thank you.
Yep, you bet.
Oh, wait, and for the presentation, do we have to turn those in, or do we just have to or this is the TCI thing, we're the only thing we're doing?
The TCI thing is the only thing you're doing.
Okay. Got
Yeah,
it.
you're
Thank you.
submitting. Just make sure you hit turn in or submit when you're done with the 5 questions, though.
All right, got it. Thank you.
Yep, no problem. We'll see you later, Luke.
See you.
All right.
Is the library open?